I have learned a very important secret. It's a life-changing secret. Yet the secret is not so much a secret as a forgotten memory that today's science has just recently rediscovered. The ancient mystics and the great teachers knew it, though teaching this secret over the centuries led to being referred to as a heretic, a false prophet, or in some cases, just a little off their rocker. Would you like me to share with you the secret that's not really a secret? Everything, every plant, animal, human, and inanimate object is nothing but energy. We are a collection of atoms vibrating at different rates of vibration, which give the appearance of being solid to that which is not. Now, this is not some new age concept, though for years it was relegated to the metaphysical school of thought. It did not originate there. The idea that we are energy can be traced to most ancient civilizations known. Now, personally, I suspect that there are many civilizations that we never knew existed who may have understood this concept. Now, according to most experts, and this is that universal they, our planet is approximately 4.5 billion years old. Modern humans have existed for roughly 200,000 years. Now just think about that for a minute. Is it possible to expand your concept of reality to consider that it might be possible that our cycle of human existence may not be the only one that has existed on this planet? Is it not possible that there have been civilizations before us? Look to most religious texts and myths, and you will find a story regarding a flood or a cleansing of the planet, a fresh start. From the Neolithic period to the Greeks, from the ancient Sumerians to the Hebrews. Almost every culture on every continent has a similar story or myth. In all, I found over 245 stories, excuse me, each different in their telling, but similar enough to make one wonder. In a world without the internet and instant communications, one has to wonder if maybe there is some truth to these stories. Is it not possible that these stories are common because it is a erased memory of ancient events that did happen? An event which cleansed the planet, allowing for a rebirth and a new generation of man to create again. So imagine, if this is true, all that might have been lost, all the understanding and wisdom that has been forgotten. Now, you might be wondering what all of this has to do with vibrations and frequencies. So, here's the thing. Everything we see, touch, or imagine is energy. But what does that mean for us? What does it mean for you? It means we have the power to create as well as destroy, to build as well as to tear down. How we use this energy is part of the free will that all religions try to explain through their use of stories and allegories and their understanding of the concept of free will. We, you and I, are both receivers and transmitters of this energy. In subtle ways, we pick up on the frequencies of others, not realizing the effect these energies have on us. At the same time, we transmit waves of energy to others. And the constant sending and receiving creates the world we understand in terms we can neatly organize and utilize, though often very misguided and misunderstood. In his book, The Four Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz explains that we make assumptions of others based on our perception and our desire to fill in the blanks of what we don't know based on what we feel. So to demonstrate this, I'd like you to join me in a memory experiment. You can close your eyes if you want to, or leave them open, whichever works. Think of a time when you found yourself instantly disliking someone for no apparent reason. Maybe it was a person in a park, or a person in front of you in the line at the store. One look was all it took. Instantly, you had a vision of who that person was. You wrote their story without knowing a single thing about them. Now I ask you, the story you wrote, where do you think it came from? What was going through your mind when you saw this person? Were you rushed? Had you just had a run-in with a boss, a spouse, or a child that had you agitated? Or were you in the moment, enjoying life for what it was and just completely caught off guard? To believe that the story and truth you wrote for this person was real could be an indication that you have developed your sense to a point that you are able to see through physical, focusing on the energy waves and frequencies, read them, interpret them, and fully understand them. You could be an empath. Or maybe you have simply encountered a person whose energy, vibrations, and frequencies does not resonate with your own. And because of the physical and visceral reaction you have to this energy, you immediately jump to judgment, formed an opinion on who they are, their background, and their story. You created an assumption based on no information. Now let's go back to that person or experience that you just remembered. The longer you are around them, the worse the feeling may have gotten. If you were in line with them, you may have moved back a few steps, placing a little bit of distance between the two of you. And yet still, the more you focus on how uncomfortable you were around the person, how much you disliked this person, the more uncomfortable you became. So how do we explain and control this in our daily lives? Is there an alternative way to seeing the situation and a way to raise your personal vibration in order to overcome the feeling? Remember, we are receivers and transmitters of energy. Our thoughts are pure energy and more powerful than any source of energy known to man today. Maybe you were having a bad day, or your energy, vibration, or frequency had been lowered due to a fight or a conflict. That energy was transmitted to the person standing in front of you. He receives that vibration and immediately formed an opinion of you. It's habit. And this image of you caused him to lower his rate of vibration, not on a conscious level, but lowered nonetheless. Think of it more as a self-defense mechanism. Now, his vibration is then transmitted back to you, who in turn receives, processes, and transmits yet an even lower vibration, creating additional tension. In worst case scenarios, for those who do not have the self-awareness to control their emotions and vibrations, such a case could escalate to a point of violence while neither party actually understand what started the situation. This transmitting and receiving can go both ways, and it creates a vibrational or frequency loop. We can see this on a mass scale. One need only watch the world around them, both local and global conflicts. Riots are fed from the transmitting and receiving of lower vibrations, spiraling lower and lower till our outward actions match that frequency. Words, emotions, and thoughts have power. They are nothing more than energy being transmitted at different frequencies and vibrations. There are no magic words, and yet all words are magic. They are magic because we have given them meaning. We have given them power. The emotion behind the words or thoughts acts as an amplifier, making a word or thought that much more powerful. Not because it is, but because you gave it that power. Individually, we give it power. And as a race, we increase its power. Lower vibrations or frequencies include anger, fear, and judgment, while love, compassion, acceptance, and non-judgment represent the higher frequencies and vibrations. The more thought and emotion we put behind these concepts raises or lowers our vibration. And it is this feeling that you feel when around someone, or someone feels when around you. Now, I bet right now you're thinking, how do I change something that's automatic? Am I right? I know most of you in this room already know the answer. It's one of the reasons we come together here at Common Ground every Sunday. The first step is awareness. Become aware of your reaction to people around you and look within to determine your state of mind. If you're operating from a place of stress, fear, or anger, realize that you may be the one transmitting this energy and projecting your own emotions and story onto someone else. Raise your vibration. Change your frequency. Change the channel. If you realize that the initial energy transfer is starting with you, raise your vibration and reverse the interpersonal transfer and release a situation before it escalates, drawing vibrations further down and perhaps causing a physical or emotional reaction. Now, if the emotions and energies are not yours, realize you are picking up on theirs, but instead of reacting in the same way, you can raise your vibration, and by transmitting a higher vibration, change the exchange to the benefit of both. You do this by changing the channel, changing the story. For any of you Harry Potter fans out there, this one's for you. Think of a strong, positive memory, one that is full of love, joy, or gratitude, or all three of them. Embrace this feeling as the emotions to work to raise your vibration and increase your positive frequency. By drawing on this loving, compassionate memory, you reverse your transmission. Stop writing other people's story for them. Stop projecting your story onto them. Stop assuming you know the person or the story of that person. Stop, reflect, and rewrite your script. See them as an expression of the divine. See the God in them as you present the God in you. No words are needed. This is all at a vibrational level. It's at a mental level. As you change your frequency, you transmit a higher vibration of energy, and the receiver cannot help but react in kind. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you is a very simple mantra that when thought with belief will raise your energies to a higher vibration. When spoken, the increase in frequency is even stronger, though it's not always possible to turn around to the person behind you in line and say that. Okay, so say it mentally. Now, as I prepared this week's talk, and subsequently read the book, The Four Agreements, I was reminded that throughout the entire book that I wrote, I was writing about making assumptions and judgments about others. I refer to this as projecting my thoughts and ideas on others. What I was doing was transmitting my own lower vibrations of fear and loneliness and reacting to their vibrations without knowing what they were going through. And instantly, I assumed they meant me harm. Now, I'm sure that my vibrational transmissions and responses We're responsible for more than one altercation and hundreds of misunderstandings. Being aware is the first step. The second step is changing the channel to a higher frequency, which empowers you to create the world you desire rather than the world you think you perceive. A mantra or mental saying that I find particularly useful, more because of its meaning to me, is Shalom Namaste. Now this, of course, combines two very different cultures, yet each complements each other. Using my understanding of the words, and in this case, it's my understanding that matters, we get peace be with you. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. Now this translation may not be 100% accurate, but because it's what it means to me, it works for me. The energy I have given this phrase brings me peace, draws from my spiritual center, and allows me to stop writing and reading stories of others as I transmit a vibration of love and peace to those around me. If only I can remember to do that all the time, that would be more helpful. We have the power to project the frequencies we desire, as long as we are aware of the fact that we are transmitting and receiving at all times. Now, the thing is, we can be alone just thinking about someone or something, and we are transmitting and receiving on a global scale. You do not have to be with the person. So I'd like to close with an excerpt from The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I believe he captures the essence of what I've always believed, but I lack the eloquence to put it into words. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We could swear they are real. We could make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally. Then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make assumptions, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. So here at Common Ground, we raise our vibrations every week. We come together to share the love, the compassion, and the gratitude we each feel for ourselves and for each other. So let us go out into the world today and be mindful of our reactions to the frequencies of others. Help to raise the vibrations of the planet, one person and one contact at a time. Thank you for being here this morning as I share this truth as I understand it. Shalom Namaste.